Hello, you're welcome. In this video, we are going to be looking at how the BYCOL function actually works in Google Sheets. So this function actually helps us to group an array by columns, and it does this by applying the lambda function to each of the columns. So if you look at our screen here, this is the general formula for this BYCOL function. We take this BYCOL, select our array, and then apply the lambda function in order to get what we need. So let's see how this works in practice, starting from this first tab. So in this first tab, we want to check the max per column and the sum per column. As you can see, we have product A, B, and C. So for each of these products, we want to be able to get the maximum per column first, then we get the sum column. So let's start with this first one. So we are going to be using the BYCOL function. I've already shown you the general formula. Let me show you the general formula again. BYCOL and then array or range and then the lambda function. So if we come back here, that's just what we are going to do. So we first start with BYCOL and then we select our range or our array. So in our case, we are going to be selecting A3 to C5. Okay, and then next will be the lambda. We enter column here and max and column. Then we close. If this is the first that we are closing, the second, and then we close the last one. Once we enter, you see that it automatically gives us the maximum from each of these columns. Now let's get the sum per column. To do this, we still use the BYCOL function and then we select our range, which is this, then enter our lambda and then call sum function and colon, close the last one, enter. So you can see for this sum, we are able to sum each of these and the results have been returned. Now we can use this BYCOL function for filtering. So we add it with the filter function to perform filtering. So let's see how this works. So in this case, we want to filter sales rep whose average sales is greater than or equal to 25. So we are using BYCOL, filter, and lambda function in this case. So to be able to do this, we start with the filter function. So what we want to filter is this. We want to filter based on the sales rep. So we select B2 to D2. Okay, and then now we enter our BYCOL and we now select the range, okay, that we are using the BYCOL on. So that range is D3 to D5, then lambda will be next as usual. Then let's use the short of column, then average, since we want to get the average, and the average column should be greater than or equal to 25. So that's what we are going to do here. So we enter greater than or equal to 25. Then we close our brackets and enter. So you see the column that has greater than or equal to 25 is the column that contains Tolu. So Tolu is the sales rep that has been able to make this average sale. Okay. Then the next one, the final thing that I want to show us is how we can use this BYCOL to take differences between maximum and minimum values of each column. So in this case, we want to be able to take the difference between the maximum and minimum value. You can see the maximum we have here, for example, is 4 and the minimum is 1. So we should be able to get 3 when we take the difference, same as for this and for this. So what we are going to do is to start with our BYCOL, then we select the range, which is A3 to C5, and then our lambda, then colon max minus min colon, and we enter. So here you can see we've now been able to get the differences between the max and minimum values of each of these columns. Okay, and this is just the few examples I want to show you concerning this BYCOL function. I hope you've been able to find this video helpful. Please, if you have, kindly like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.